All right. Hey there, everybody in YouTube land. This is Wei here from The Money Lab. And once again, we are back. Tuesdays at noon Pacific Standard, The Money Lab. We're starting out with firing it up first on YouTube. I have my guest here, Violet Takacs, right?
Yes.
Okay, from Pennsylvania. Actually, she's going to be on the show today. We have about a minute before we go live on the podcast side of it. But while we're doing that, Violet, why don't you say hello to the masses and introduce yourself real quick?
Hey everyone, my name is Violet. Takacs is a Hungarian name. I come from Transylvania and I came to America in 1991.
Wow, 1991. That's actually when I graduated high school. Oh, I just gave away what. How old are you? Great. Okay, cool. So it's about 11:59 right now, but we're going to have a really cool show today. We're going to talk about the money story of I Don't Deserve It. And also we're going to talk about why I'm drinking this drink today. And also going to be talking about some really cool things that, a lot of cool things that Violet brought to the table in terms as an entrepreneur in the area of essential oils. So let me take a quick sip. And we're going to, quiet on the set, we're going to fire up the show. So hold on right here. Let me get to the studio here. And here we go. All right. Welcome to the Money Lab live podcast, episode number 54, the I Don't Deserve Money story. All right, welcome back to another live broadcast of the Money Lab podcast from the Six Figure Academy. I am your host, Wei Hong from the Six Figure Academy. This is the podcast where we give you tips, strategies, and interviews with other entrepreneurs on how to create the ultimate six-figure entrepreneur lifestyle, free of bad money stories, money anxiety, I'm about to choke on my own saliva, and stress so that you can monetize your dreams and execute your genius. Now, if you haven't already downloaded our free ebook called From Money Anxiety to Six-Figure Mastery, make sure you go to go.thesixfigureacademy.com and get it there. It's the perfect complement to all the things that we discuss on this show. And quite frankly, it could change your life. Now, if you're joining us live today and you are not on YouTube Live and already caught us coming live maybe like a few minutes ago, make sure you get on Spreaker.com or download the Spreaker app on your mobile device and search for the hashtag The Money Lab so that you can join us in the chat room and ask questions, interact with us and our guest, and even request a specific topic to discuss that will help support you in your quest for the ideal six-figure lifestyle. And you definitely want to ask questions today for our guest. Now, while you're there, subscribe so that you don't miss an episode and can catch us every single week. For all of the ways to find us, go to thesixfigureacademy.com/radio for all the details. And if there's something you love about what you hear on this episode today, and I'm pretty sure you will, that you know could help someone or you care about, remember, sharing is caring, and share this show to that person. With that being said, today we have Violet Takacs. I love your last name because it's so challenging for me because I'm not Romanian. And basically, let me give you a little bit of background about who she is. One, she's one of my go-to massage therapist because she does an amazing job, really kind of pays attention. So that says a lot about who she is. She's a therapeutic massage therapist in Torrance, California, and an essential oil specialist, which is all the rave right now. And I'm going to, in a moment, we're going to let her talk about, what makes her oils a little bit different. She and her fiance now own and operate Back in Action Body Works, a chiropractic and wellness center in Torrance, California. And I'm going to let her tell a little bit more about what she does and who she is and her whole entire story because it's a fascinating story. So welcome to the show, Violet.
Wow. Thank you, Wei. And thank you, everybody. I am very, very, very excited and nervous at the same time.
That's okay. We're just going to have a conversation today. So no worries. You're going to have a lot of fun. So Violet, talk a little bit about, let's get the money story piece out of the way. Okay. Because this is the Money Lab and we're all about, basically talking about our money stories, where we came from, how we got there, how we get to understand, or the whole title of today's show is called I Don't Deserve Money. So tell us a little bit about your money story. How's that relevant to you?
Wow. Money story, right? It took me how many years? 35, 38 years to finally actually pay attention to that. So growing up in the communist era, my family wasn't a rich family, and I'm
Right.
sure a lot of people are there like that.
Right.
And I used to just observe my parents working 2, 3 shifts at a time. So I really didn't see my mom much because she was always gone working.
Right.
And if she didn't work in a factory, she would knit
Uh-huh.
or sew or make
Uh-huh.
stuff to sell, because she would end up borrowing money from friends to cover the monthly food or whatever we needed to
Uh-huh.
pay. So then she had to work extra time to pay for that.
Wow.
So for me, that money became like, oh my God, I can only have money if I work super hard.
Right.
Basically, there's a saying, work hard to the bones or something.
Yeah,
That
work to the bone. Yeah, work your fingers to the bone, so to speak. That's that particular saying.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I just realized that like not long ago, like a few years ago, it's like, oh my God, I need to start working smart, not hard.
Yeah, working. So once again, just to remind people, you came from a really, really cool place. It's not just Romania, right?
It's Transylvania.
Transylvania. So first time I met Violet, I was like, Transylvania, are you a vampire?
Yes, they had to shave my fangs off.
And how did you come? Did you fly over here?
I actually flew with the Boeing.
the Boeing bat.
But see, he got lost, or so we missed the flight, the connection flight from Hungary to Copenhagen. So this way I got to stay one night in Copenhagen, and it was amazing to see going to the hotel room and opening it up with the card. I was 20 years old. I've never seen something like that.
Oh, instead of using a regular key. Okay, cool. So seeing your mom going through that intense labor of having to, work yourself to the bone, and then borrowing money despite having to work yourself to the bone just to make ends meet, right? So how did all that then lead to the belief system that you said you have, which is, I don't deserve money?
Well, to me is when I work, even I tell you now, sometimes I have this guilt feeling coming up that if I make the money I'm actually believe I'm deserving of, next moment comes up, I don't deserve it. It's like I'm supposed to be down low in the society like everybody else, work really hard. You're not somebody who deserves to be having a comfortable or a nice lifestyle.
Right. So basically what you're saying is that if you yourself had and you've been able to, I mean, you're living a lifestyle that's significantly better than what you grew up with.
Absolutely.
And so because of that, you probably for a while had to deal with the fact that, oh my God, I'm living a life that I didn't grow up with, beyond what I'd grown up with. And so that belief system that I don't deserve this.
Well, yeah, I don't deserve it.
Right.
I'm not worth it. It's like, sometimes I get to the point like, why should I work so hard anymore? It's not worth it. It's like, I'm not making enough at that time to pay for my stuff, and I'm just going to live the same life I lived in Romania.
Wow. Okay. And so in the beginning, when this challenge stepped in for you, how did you navigate out of that? I mean, how did you deal with that in the beginning?
To break through this stuff, right?
Well, before you broke through it, I mean, how did it impact your life?
Well, let's see. I was basically raising my daughter by myself, and my dad and my brother did help me out. However, I ended up working 2 jobs at the time and going to school to make sure I can bring in money to cover the food and whatever I could give to my daughter, so she won't grow up like me,
right?
Like in those situations,
right?
And I'm not saying I had a bad childhood. It's definitely wanted something better for my daughter.
Right.
So I had a period of 3 years working 7 days a week.
Wow.
I would do 8 to 10 massages on a Saturday and Sunday. I ended up hurting both shoulders with bursitis and tendonitis. So I was out of commission for like 6 months. I couldn't do anything with my arms. And
so the way that you were able to make money, you couldn't make money.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And then so from there, did you think that because of that story that you didn't deserve it, and so you had to work even harder and harder, do you think that contributed to kind of almost self-sabotaging your
Absolutely.
circumstance.
I was not worth it. So therefore, I was still charging the same price the school charged. Like $49 an hour, $55 an hour. And I'm doing
for private services.
For private services. And I was doing heavy duty deep tissue that here in the neighborhood, in the Torrance area, it's a lot, like about $80, $90 an hour or so.
Yeah. Okay, so it was just here, right?
It was here. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what was the turning point then? At what point did you say, okay, enough is enough? I know this is not the same circumstance. I'm further beyond, and even though it's unknown territory, because a lot of times this don't deserve piece comes up, and you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that have this in their journey. Especially, I had a client years ago whose family was blue collar. None of them were ever entrepreneurs, and he decided he wanted to be an entrepreneur. And at one point, it was like he was sabotaging left and right to keep himself from going to that next level of success. And it was driving him nuts, creating all kinds of problems and challenges in his life. I mean, he was depressed. He was fighting with his family. He was alienating himself from all his friends and his kids and everything like that. So at what point, I mean, it sounds like you were kind of going through a little bit of the same thing, but at what point did you realize this is my life? And even though I have the story that I grew up with, it doesn't have to be my story.
I did go through some training and some self-growth trainings. I don't know if you want me to put names to it or not.
Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm okay.
So Rodney came into my life, and he's the one who says, first of all, you need to raise your fees. Your massages is too great to keep charging $55 an hour.
And this is your fiance? That's
my fiance.
Good.
And I had patients, Caroline Erickson. She's the one. She's like, Violet, you need to raise your fees. Violet, you need to raise your fees. And I go, okay, I'll go up $5. I'll go up $10 because I still was not comfortable charging what I thought I should be charging. Right. And seeing people like Caroline, she would write a check for the amount that I'm supposed to charge.
Okay.
It was just
wow. So this was a client giving you more money than you were asking for.
Yes, a lot more money.
Wow. So you basically called in the people in a way, I think you called in the people that you needed to, that basically was here to support you. We're here to support you.
Subconsciously, right?
Subconsciously, right.
Because I was not aware of that. All I was like, I can't. I don't think people are going to pay for my massage.
Yeah. And I love that because there's something to be said about people not realizing that they don't have to navigate this journey to success, whatever that is for you, alone. And there's universal support, I don't know any super successful, happy entrepreneur person out there that says, I did this all on my own.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you should say that because with Rodney, we're constantly talking about supporting each other. And a lot of time I still catch myself that I'm not really my ego gets in the way. And I don't want people to contribute to my support or my well-being because the ego says you're too weak.
And we're too weak in what sense?
Well, let's see. When I grew up, there's I don't know if it's a culture thing or what, that if you cry, you show that you're too weak. You need to be strong. So showing any kind of emotion, any kind of weakness, like I need support from somebody, I need your help, for me was no, I have to show you I can do it by myself. I don't need your help. So again, that's the ego. But I learned that I have to do it all in order to succeed because first of all, I can't trust people to help me move.
Was that from your childhood?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Learning not to be able to trust people.
I was never good enough. So if I won a race and I came in third place with very harsh conditions into that race, first thing I heard from, I don't want to be mean to my mom or anything, but she didn't know any better.
Yeah. Right? Well, I mean, they're doing the best that they can. I mean, our parents always do the best that they can. And whether or not it comes off and people judge it or you judge, whatever. I mean, every human being is always doing the best of what they've got. And so, yeah, that's totally fine. I totally get it.
She probably joked and I didn't get it. Maybe she says, oh, is that all you could do? Right?
Oh, like, trust me, my dad said.
And all I could think of is, oh my gosh, I'm running in the snow with shoes that have no cleats. I'm sliding everywhere every time I make a turn in a cross country. I come in.
But everybody else had cleats.
Everybody else had cleats.
Oh.
So it's funny because when I was in middle school, we had this athletic team, and my team was so poor that it couldn't give us the proper gear to compete against other teams.
Wow.
And back then it was like, oh, funny story. I couldn't leave my team because of guilt. And because in school, I took off 2 weeks from school and we got severe punishment.
Okay.
And since then, I never missed a day of school or work. If I'm sick, it's like I'm always there. So when I ended up in this team that had no gears, proper gears, I couldn't leave them to go to the other group. They asked me, hey, you're such a great athlete. I want you in this group. And I said, no, I can't. I can't leave my people behind.
Oh, okay. So there's a bit of a loyalty thing that comes into play, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's from guilt, isn't it?
Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that you brought with you coming into the US when you immigrated here. And you decided, despite all that, to start a business or to be an entrepreneur anyway.
I feel like I was forced to.
You forced to?
Well,
Tell me, what do you mean you were forced to?
So when I got the injuries on my shoulders, I was working full-time dental assisting.
What? You were working as a dental assistant too?
Yes. Wow. Well, I was a dental assistant for 16 years. So for the last 6 years, I worked in Manhattan Beach, but through that, I went to massage school. So while I was a full-time dental assistant, I would rush to the massage school after work. To make a 7 or 8 o'clock appointment to give another massage or two. And that also made me work on the Saturdays and Sundays. And that's how I ended up with the 3 years working 7 days a week.
Oh my God, 3 years, 7 days a week. Holy cow.
So when people were telling me you need to raise your fee, you need to take time off. And
now, was this how your mom worked also?
Yeah.
7 days a week?
She did have it. We only had a day off. Sunday was the day off. So we went from school. We had to go to school on Saturday.
So you one-upped your mom and did 3 years without even a day off.
Well, I guess because I was raising my daughter by myself, and the fiat, I didn't have enough. And it's funny.
Oh, so you had to compensate for the fact that there's only one parent.
Yeah, that's how I judge.
So you justified the 7 days a week. Let me martyr myself because there's only one of me and there's not two. Yeah. So for those of you who are single parents out there, or anybody who's listening right now, remember you can participate and ask questions because there's a lot of cool things that can be, a lot of cool gemstones that you're hearing right now from Violet's story. So if you're on YouTube, go ahead and punch into the chat and ask a question. Or if you're on the Spreaker app, there is a chat thing option there as well. There's a chat option. I can't talk to it. There's a chat option there. So, okay, cool. So you have all these challenges, and you came into you basically brought in this belief system that I don't deserve anything beyond what you grew up with. You just got to survive, basically, right? And then all of a sudden, you came to the U.S. You saw all these different opportunities, and whenever you want another job, you could get it.
Correct.
Okay, and all of a sudden, you said, "Wow, there's more." And in a very short period of time, as you grew up, and even as a mom, you realized that at one point you were living in a level of let's say luxury, I guess, beyond what you grew up with.
Correct.
Okay. Did it just hit you one day, or did you recognize this right from the beginning?
Through my journey here, slowly I would separate myself from dentistry and immerse myself into massage more. And that's when I said, okay, I'm going to work for myself for now. And I became very busy. And then I noticed Roddy needed help in the chiropractic. So I decided to stick around with him.
Right.
And now we kind of combined the two.
Okay.
And then he was, hey, I'm doing new skin, or he was selling the new skin. It's the nutritional, the life packs, I think. Right?
Okay.
So that's a direct marketing. So I didn't know anything about direct marketing. So I dabbled in that. And again, I didn't know that's an entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I
mean, as a massage therapist, you were independent, right?
I was, but I didn't think of myself as entrepreneur. I was thinking of myself as
just
workaholic.
Just doing what you could do to
anything I can put my hands on. If I can turn it into money, to me that was work. I didn't have that entrepreneur mentality. I didn't know what entrepreneur meant. I didn't even speak English well.
Oh wow, that's so fascinating. Because here's the thing: it's so funny because a lot of people that I meet, and I learned that they chose to be an entrepreneur. They identified with being an entrepreneur first, and then they went into work as an entrepreneur. Whereas you just were doing whatever you could to bring in income, bring in revenue, to provide for your daughter, provide for the people that you love and care about around you. And you didn't even think about the fact that what you were doing is the hustle that comes with being an entrepreneur.
No.
So you didn't even identify yourself as an entrepreneur in the beginning.
Nope.
Oh, that's so fascinating.
Just so how do you call it? Working bee?
Yeah, but at what point did you say, okay, I guess I'm an entrepreneur? Was it that Rodney told you, or did you just say you just one day realize, oh, I think I'm an entrepreneur?
I know. I think I listened to so many videos and read a couple of books. I like audiobooks. And then hanging out with you and going through some of the coaching programs you did with us and doing Landmark, it's slowly started to bring my awareness up. And because my English has gotten better and I understand more, suddenly certain things starting to sink into me. Oh my gosh, this is what it meant all this time and I never knew. Simple words like Target that you read on this building, Target with the sign.
Right.
3, 4, 5 years ago, I'm pulling into the parking lot, and this is so recent. And I'm looking at the sign and I go, oh my God, now I finally what Target means. I didn't know it was the Target, but you put your arrows.
You mean like little icon with the circles and everything?
I couldn't.
You didn't connect it to? Oh, okay. So I guess in Romania, there's not a lot of association with design logos and brands, name brands.
Not when I grew up. I mean,
it was just names.
I was 20 when I came here, so I came in from not really knowing anything because I was in Romania all my time, except 1 year, like at age 19, I was able to start traveling to Hungary, right? Until then, I was sheltered from everything. We didn't have internet. I didn't have a phone. We didn't have a phone in the house either.
Well, there wasn't much internet back then anyway.
We walked a lot. It's like I hung out with people who knew the same thing that I knew.
God, this is so fascinating. You know what I love about this is that I wonder if there is an exercise that can be done for entrepreneurs, that if you were to release yourself of the label as an entrepreneur, what would you do? Would you continue doing what you're doing? Or if you are you doing what you're doing because you want to serve your perception of what an entrepreneur is? Wow, that's so cool, because I don't know if I've met somebody yet who has clearly gone through a path of hustling to be doing their own business and running their own deal, and then woke up one day and said, oh my God, I'm an entrepreneur.
I know. And it's such an amazing feeling for me to know that, hey, I broke through that mentality that, okay, I'm a workaholic, worker bee, lower society. And I finally got it that I can have whatever I put my mind to it. And this funny part is people around me see it all the time, that what I can achieve. Right. But I'm so blind to it that to me, it's, well, that's nothing. Yeah. Like, oh, that's no big deal. Right. That was enforced in me because I had to learn to do it. To me, that's no big deal. And then I'm looking at today's society, younger kids, I'm looking at my daughter's age friends and stuff. They don't even know how to sew a button. No. So this is stuff that you grew up because you had to do everything. Well, yes, I had to. So what was the turning point? At what point did it turn over and you said, okay, great, I'm an entrepreneur and I deserve everything and I just need to own myself, basically, own my path? I would say around 2009. 2009, okay. 2009, after I had some Landmark and I had some seminars. Oh, okay. Actually, it was, with NLP, Dr. Matt. Oh, okay. So after you became a bit of a seminar junkie like I did. Yeah, but it's fun. But it's fun. It is fun to be a seminar junkie. You get to learn all these cool things. And you can potentially change your life. So you learned NLP and you went through Landmark, you went through all those different things. And then the culmination of everything in 2009 basically hit. Not 2009, because the NLP was in 2012 or 13 after my mom passed away. Okay. I hit emotional bottom, rock bottom. Okay. And Dr. Matt helped me get through that. And that's when I realized I got to do something different. And that's when I came to me that, okay, if I'm an entrepreneur and this is what the path is and this is what it means, I'm going to go for the highest level I can. Sorry. No worries. And that's when it came to me helping others. Even though I'm always there for others, but I wasn't conscious about it. So I would always help others by jeopardizing my health or my well-being or my financial status. Right. But when I did that NLP that put me through, it helped me recognize I can be responsible and still serve higher purpose. So recognizing your gifts, recognizing why you're here, right? And just kind of knowing, just kind of basically pulling the veil back and knowing yourself, getting to know yourself, getting to know you, getting to know me. Yeah, but it's really hard because it's scary to look at myself. Or I mean, it was scary because now I love it to say, okay, what is it about me that I don't like about that person? And I forgot
Right.
it was Jeffrey Combs who said that.
Taking ownership. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before it was like, I don't want to deal with you. Or Rodney would
Right.
say something about me that, hey, your behavior this way. Deep down, I knew he was right, but I had a hard time saying it. And one of the biggest things is hard for me is to apologize to him or to people close to me.
Right.
It's just, it's this choking feeling.
Yeah.
It's the fear of letting go of something, right? Or the ego, or I don't know how you want to call it. And I'm getting better at it.
Right.
Right? Actually, I'm getting pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But that was one of the biggest things for me that was keep popping up.
Right.
Hey, you need to take a look at self-self. So if you want to grow, because I made a commitment, I want to grow.
Yeah.
And with me growing, I want to help people who come from similar situation where I came from, so I can help them break through that barrier. So say, hey, even I'm from India, or I'm from Hungary, I'm from wherever, or I'm from a suppressed country.
Right.
I can achieve what I want by breaking through this little barrier that I can help them with, because I can
the
only
barrier
take,
of self,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can only take them as far as I want.
Right. Okay.
And then
so
I can send them to you.
Thank you. So what I'm hearing is what you basically surmise or learn and realize is that the way to grow your business, your life, is to grow yourself.
That's right. That's very important.
Yeah. And so when these shifts started to happen from 2009, 2012, 2013, how did that then impact your path, your journey, your business, your money flow, all those different things?
Well, suddenly I started, the Secret came out around that too, 2008, 2009. So I've been watching Secret 8, 9, 10 times over and over. And every time I would watch it, it would get something else.
Right.
So that was constantly in the back of my mind. And I became more present to the surroundings, to the moments, to my thoughts, to feelings with people around me. So when the shift happened that, okay, I want to grow, and I want to grow in such a way to help others, it suddenly dawned on me that when I help somebody genuinely, it comes back to me tenfold. And not necessarily money-wise, but otherwise. Like say my health gets better, or suddenly a new client comes into our business, not necessarily to the massage area, right? Because it's all in the family.
So prosperity opens up. Of course, money does come into.
It does.
And money did, over the last several years, last few years, you guys have been enjoying a lot of growth and success, right?
Yes.
So that's always exciting. And you found yourself kind of like, because I saw you kind of exploring the different types of business models out there over the last several years. And, as you broke through layers and layers of self-understanding and self-awareness, I can see your passion continues to grow in the areas of helping people. And as you find your groove, if you will, which we'll talk about today, then everything starts becoming more and more aligned. Because instead of fragmented kind of businesses that you were doing before, and they were all making money, you've started to now hone in. I think it looks like
it's honing in, definitely.
Yeah.
And with all the businesses I've done, the biggest failures I always had was network marketing.
Well, I think that's a common thing. I mean, some of the biggest successes in the world that you find, and some of the biggest failures you find, is network marketing.
It's because I didn't understand that when you work for yourself, especially in network marketing or direct selling, is the work you put in is what pays you back. It's not like my upline, downline, somewhere anybody else has to help me to grow.
Right.
I mean, it's nice to have support from them, but eventually come down to me. And also
creating your own little unique model within that.
Yes. And also back then I was like, oh, it's his fault because he's never around. He can never teach me on what to do and whatever. And I always blame it on my language.
Right.
And in fact, I still say, oh, I don't think I can be on this radio show because my English is not so good.
So far, I think you are fine, because if you can communicate with me, and I think nobody has said anything yet, so I think you're okay. In fact, I think if you didn't point it out so much, I don't think anybody would have said anything.
Well, I don't mind pointing it out. I want to be right there.
Yeah. Well, you have a high standard of achievement, and it sounds like you just want to always kind of up the game a little bit.
And that was my big pitfall with my family and my daughter. I always wanted her to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Everything she did, she had to do it perfect first time, because that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
In my
Because if you didn't do
understanding.
it perfect first time growing up, then what happens?
Well, you get yelled at. You're not good enough.
You get in trouble, right?
Well, yeah, right.
That's right. But we forget, like, you know, that's where we learn our best lessons in life. You know, if we don't have our parents around, then how else do we learn in life? We fall down a few times and we get up, right?
Well, it is good, but if you're always surrounded with that kind of stuff,
It's
you
the
never
people,
get to grow.
right?
Right.
So that's why it's making sure that you surround yourself with the right people, because it sounds like that's what started to happen.
Yes, Rodney.
Rodney came into your life, and then you started surrounding yourself in having the right people around you to support you.
Yes.
It's really cool. So so if someone were to be listening to us right now, and they were to hear like, oh my God, I can identify that I'm a single mom, a single parent, I'm immigrated, whatever the case may be, what are some of the key points that you feel that now that you've gone through it, what are the key things that you would give as gemstones or as advice to help them achieve success in this lifetime, in their journey to whatever they want to do, whether or not they're an entrepreneur, but or entrepreneurs maybe?
That's right.
Yeah.
So very important thing is, the first one is to don't be afraid to go learn about yourself and grow.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you understand why you behave in a certain way, why your child is reacting to you the way it is, it's because of what you as a parent brought out of the child based on your behavior.
Okay.
Right? Kids don't like to be told what to do.
Right. I wish this lesson would just kind of ripple out into the entire United States. I think we'd be far less shooting. Yes, parents, I'm calling you out, you know, for those that know what I'm talking about. But great parents out there, no worries. But
then again, you have to look at a lot of parents who are single and their English is worse than mine, and they are never had a high school or college education, and they're stuck at working 2 or 3 jobs. They don't have the time to be with the kids. Right. How do you develop yourself? Well, have a program somewhere where they can provide those parents with some audio shows or books or something, so they can learn on their own pace.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that you brought up, because my mom immigrated here in 1970.
I was born that year.
Yeah. Oh. You just gave away your age. No, and she, to this day, her English can't even come close to yours. And she's been here since 1970. She was encapsulated in a little interesting little bubble where all her friends, to this day, most of them are all Chinese, and they all speak Chinese. And the other day, her and I were just having a conversation about, her complaining that she could never learn English. She always had a hard time learning English. And I said, it's probably because you don't have any friends that speak English, and you've never had any friends that speak it. So instead of blaming the fact, but she liked to blame herself and call herself stupid. For doing so.
Yeah, I think it's cultural stuff.
Yeah,
we did that.
Big time culture stuff. So no, I get it. There are some parents that come in here, they have kids, and they end up being single parents. They have struggles with the language, the struggles with the culture, and they're doing whatever they can. So I know your circumstance was slightly different because you took a different path, but someone in that type of circumstance, in order to be responsible for that child that can grow up and do whatever it wants to do, or he or she wants to do, what would you encourage them to do?
The parents or the kids?
The parents. It starts with the parents. It trickles down to the kids.
So in that scenario, I would tell them, I would suggest, find activities where the kids can learn and grow, and they can have immersion in different kind of areas where they can learn about skills.
What if they say, well, I don't have time for that, and I have to work 3 jobs as it is, and I don't want to, be on welfare and whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Then provide YouTube channels, help them find those kind of areas like
Mhm.
books or YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's a tough place though. I mean,
oh
what
my
if,
gosh, YouTube is amazing.
yeah, and what if they start YouTubing the wrong rabbit holes?
Well, they just need to have confidence with the child. They need to talk to the child in such way. Depends how old the child's are, right?
Do
And
you
have
think if they
trust.
just took out 15 to 30 minutes dedicated time every single day just to spend with the child, would that make a difference versus not?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Okay. And
Quality time and quantity time, right?
right, quality versus quantity. And I think that's a huge piece right there. Is like, when you do so what if you don't have that much time? It's not so much about the quantity of time, because I've been around parents who spend a ton of time with their kids, but they're constantly on their devices.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm guilty of that.
And then there are times where, you know, I have successful CEOs and really high powered entrepreneurs, and they say, I need to spend some time with that kid right now, and he spends half an hour, maybe an hour, you know, a day, but it's like focus. He's there. He's not doing anything with anybody else. He's just, you know, turns all devices off and to spend that time with his kid.
So my worker mentality goes, well, if I would have all this money as a CEO, I would be affording an hour away to stay with my child. An entrepreneurial mind, it says, well, I can always make up that time somewhere else, right? So let me have that time with my child. My child's already 26. So I wish I could turn the time back and raise her the way I know now I should have.
Right.
But
do you think that her seeing you going through that process has made an impact on her? Seeing you going through the growth and the commitment that you have to kind of like expand your horizons, do you think that has made an impact?
I don't think I know. She told me. She told me that she sees me grow and she's very proud of me. And, and she's like, you're a totally different mom. She says, you didn't used to smile before. And it's true. I was so like constantly walking intense. Like this around, right? Like, and people would ask you, why are you angry? Why are you mad? I go, I'm not. Right?
Yeah, for those of you watching the video, she is smiling.
But I had so much stuff in my head going around, like, okay, where am I going to get the next $1 or $2 or whatever?
Yeah.
That I was so focused in me.
Right.
Even though ultimate result was focusing on her, but it didn't come across that way.
Right.
So when she told me that, hey, you've gone through such a big change, or such a different person, it's just, it makes me proud to have a daughter like her. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, both of you have contributed a lot to each other. You guys are kind of like partners in crime. Heck, you guys have the same name, Little Violet and Big Violet, right?
Yeah.
And what's cool is, because I have an opportunity and a pleasure to be able to work with your daughter a little bit, and she's an amazing being, an amazing soul, and there's a lot to be said about that. You know, I actually would recommend you not go back in time, redo things, because she is an amazing individual. As a matter of fact, I think she's responsible for designing our original logo for the Six Figure Academy.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, and actually, this sign back here was designed by her. Actually, yeah, you're actually, yeah. So Little Violet actually designed this. For those of you who are on YouTube, you can see Violet's daughter is the one that designed this little pop-up back here on our sign.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
See?
So for those of you, proof in the pudding. I mean, you did a good job as a mom, and you know, you're the ripple effects, the impact that you're gonna make down the road of her seeing you go through this project, your commitment to continuously grow is going to help her on so many different levels. You know,
2005, when I did Landmark, there's a moment in the seminar, they say, why do parents want their kids to go to an Ivy League college?
Right.
And you know what hit me?
What?
Oh my God, so I can look good, so I can tell the other parents what an awesome job I did with my child. And that moment on, I go, oh my gosh, I'm not thinking of my daughter's future. I'm thinking for myself for that particular moment. And I went to her and I said, listen, whatever school you decide to go to, I support you.
God, I wish my parents actually had that kind of insight.
But it was such an empowering moment for me to realize that, oh my gosh, I want to make myself look good, even though it's my daughter's life.
Right. Wow. Right. Yeah, no. So great job. I mean, there's so much that I have to listen to this again, the show again after we're done, because there's so much to be said about what you went through. And I wouldn't change a thing just because if you just take a look around you and what you have now, you know, I mean, everything has, Carolyn Miss talks about time. You're never not serving your purpose, and everything served its purpose, right?
Yep.
So that's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about, okay, now we talked about the foundation of how you got to where you are today as an entrepreneur and what you had to go through, what money stories you had to tackle, okay, to be able to achieve the level of success that you have right now. Let's talk about some of the businesses that you're involved with, because you are a bit of a serial consummate entrepreneur, right? So I want to make sure that we get a chance to talk about what you're working on these days and explain. Oh, first of all, let's talk about, because this is part of your business too, this drink that I'm drinking right now is this all natural, is a nice little break for me from coffee actually, but it's called Zing.
Yes, Ninja Zing.
So this is part of one of your businesses, right?
Yes, it's pick me up, a quick pick me up. Especially I use it in the afternoon after lunch.
Oops, I'm doing it right now.
Because I usually after lunch, a lot of times if I'm up working late too many hours or I'm like having too many massages the night before, I get a little bit slow and tired. And this one is all natural, so the caffeine in it is from plants, so it's not synthetic stuff in it.
Oh, this is from your essential oils company.
Yeah, and it's essential infused.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I mean, I didn't know that this is what you were getting into, but it totally makes sense as a massage therapist to be incorporating essential oils. And essential oils right now is really coming up. From what I hear, is like there's a big boom in essential oils, because I think people are realizing the health impacts and everything like that. So let's talk about, first and foremost, I mean, you're in the essential oils business right now, so let's talk about why essential oils. Why is it it's such a big thing right now?
For me or for others?
Or just in general? I mean, do you because you see the industry is like totally exploding.
I see a lot of essential oil companies everywhere, and for me, particularly essential oils. When I got into them about 3 years ago, I still wasn't really comprehending why essential oils.
Right.
I just started using them because somebody told me, Dr. April,
you
need to start using them because your body's so out of whack emotionally and physically with my health. So let's help me support.
Yeah. So let's explain. Let's talk about it, because I'm fascinated by that. How can oils, whether you consume it or apply it, how is that going to impact your body? I mean, let's talk about why essential oils versus just good food.
Well, the way I look
or
at
like,
it is,
the
way I look at it is, when you're eating an apple, how is that? Do you notice anything right away?
No, except the fact that it was good and I'm feeling satiated.
Right. So essential oils are highly concentrated version of a natural oil from the plant. So like say, I don't know, maybe I messed up my verbiage there. If you take a lemon orange peel and you squeeze it, you get these little oils popping out.
Yeah, and you can light it and it actually makes fire.
Yes. But if you sniff it, you get, I mean, like me, I get like a quick boost me up if it's the lemon or orange.
Huh.
And I don't have it with me.
But okay, so how does that work? I mean,
so because it's so concentrated, usually we cook with herbs. You need to put a big tablespoon or whatever herbs into the soup. With this one, you only need 1 drop because it's so concentrated.
Oh, so this is consumable.
Yes.
You can actually eat.
Yes. So the white label is FDA approved label that it's generally regarded as safe for consumption.
Okay. So only if it's white.
Yes.
On your company. From your company. Okay.
Yes. So the way they get the essential oils out of the plants is they distill it or they through steam distilling or water distillation. And I know some companies, sometimes they use chemical distillation, so they can get more out of the plant, but then you have to be careful. You don't want to ingest that or put it on your skin or inhale it. And
of course, America likes to, is it Americans? It's just people like to over harvest, right?
Well,
meet demands, capitalistic society.
People want to make money.
Yeah.
Right. So
capitalism at its best.
It's very important. Make sure you do your homework and you study up and you take a look at, okay, which company is good? Whose oils can I trust? Where did they come from? Right. Do I know the farm they raise the plants?
Yeah.
They grow the plants. And the good thing with the company I am with, that they're able to go in and watch them harvested. They watch.
Oh, you went to? Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm going this summer.
Oh, you're going this summer. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. So for someone who's an entrepreneur, right? and they're not necessarily looking to get into the business of essential oils, how would one use essential oils to help them in their business, help them in their life, help them in their health? I mean,
so there are oils you can use to help support your overall health. So you can either diffuse it in the air with the diffuser, or you can just, like you did earlier, you smell it straight directly from the bottle.
Smells
and
good.
you can also take it internally. Some people put it in a capsule, some people put it in the water, some people cook with it. And that also helps get the oils into your tissues. So the oils are broken down. They have such a small molecules
Right.
that actually penetrate if you put it on your skin, it penetrates that fat barrier that actually goes through your bloodstream.
Oh.
So when people tell me, hey, I bought oils from this store,
right.
I'm not going to say names now.
Right.
I tell them make sure that there is no synthetic stuff in it because it's not regulated by FDA.
And your body will immediately take it in.
So if it says do not put it topically, don't ingest it, then why will I want to smell it? It goes straight to my brain.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And the thing with the oils, for me, what really got me attracted to the oils in the beginning was every time I would smell a certain combination of oils, it would take me back to my childhood.
Oh.
Like there is a combination called Teas that has cinnamon and nutmeg in it combined with orange. There's the perfect Christmas.
Okay, cool. So it's like a little take you back to memory lane type of thing. Now, here's the thing about essential oils is that prior to essential oils, how were people getting the benefits of the essential oil?
Well, the essential has been used for thousands and thousands of years.
Okay. Right. But I mean, it's only been recent that I've actually kind of like been exposed to essential oils. So I haven't been around for thousands of years. I don't really know.
Maybe they just ate the plant or used the plant directly.
Okay.
But you would probably have to use a lot more amount to get the same equivalent benefit from one drop.
So the main benefit is for health purposes.
Health support or for emotional support.
Emotional support. Okay, so this is where it could actually be used for work. So like if you have a high stress environment, if you're constantly, so what would you recommend would be a good combination for entrepreneurs who are dealing with money anxiety or stress or worry or any of those things?
It's funny because on the way down here, I worked myself up so badly that I started having shaking. Right. So I right away reached to one of my favorite oils, which is called Valor, and I didn't bring it out of my purse. And that one helps me calm down and get grounded.
Okay.
It's just a combination of the flavors and the way the oils are put together.
So in my particular case, or if any entrepreneur who is like hustling and trying to get, what would they use that essential oil and how would it impact them?
The Valor? If you're afraid to go on a stage or you get nervous, it helps you calm down. So you just inhale it or you rub it somewhere on your skin and it goes through your system and helps you deal. But you need to set intentions first.
Okay.
So intentions and routine.
So
when I use an oil, I want to make an intention in my mind. Okay, why do I want this oil? Do I want to boost my immune system or do I want to have me more calm?
So a lot of people will say, well, that's got a little bit of esoteric, a little bit woo-woo. But actually, I think there's some science behind that because it's about synchronizing how your brain then receives and responds to the oil stimulation, right?
Yes. And I used to be so skeptical.
Right. And so do you think, are you saying that it impacts the sympathetic system? I mean, in terms of the nervous system and everything, or?
They show, so there's certain things I can't really say or just, right?
Yeah.
Oils vibrate at a frequency. Each oil has its own frequency. We vibrate at a frequency, even organs vibrate at frequencies, and they actually measure frequencies.
Right.
Which like the liver.
Right.
Right. So in Romania, they have a saying, you have liver disease because you carry so much anger. And I could never, it's like what's their old wives' tale, right? Well, now they did scientific studies showing that because the liver has a different set of frequency, there's certain oils that get pulled towards that area in the system. So like or emotions.
Yeah. And for those of you who are saying vibration and frequency and you're sitting there going, hodgepodge, what's that vibration and frequency? I mean, do some Googling, the science base. If you look at if you go back to science and maybe even on the college level science, every physical object on this planet, if there's a physical representation, there is a frequency associated with that. That's how like windows shatter when you have a conflict of frequencies that hit the window, because the window is, even though you don't see it, statically as it's sitting there, it's emitting a certain level of frequency, right?
But thanks for explaining that, because I'm still having a hard time communicating that.
Oh, no worries, no problem. I totally get it. But I can already tell, like, I can already see how people in the essential oils are so passionate about it, and then all of a sudden someone comes with frequency, vibration, whatever, and there's that woo-woo stuff. It's not. It's actually science-based. Frequency is science-based. Okay, vibrations is just a simpler term to talk about how many oscillations it's going through, and imperceptible oscillations, right? To emit a specific frequency. I have an engineering background, so I can explain this to you.
But did you know that emotions have frequencies?
Oh, yeah. So Dr. David Hawkins, with his power versus force studies, he spent a lifetime doing it. Absolutely. The technology that we're working with, that you guys have yet to experience, you guys are supposed to go through it. We can actually now identify the state of frequency of that particular human being based on the emotional state.
Awesome. So what I was going to say is the frequency of anger goes together with the liver. It gets pulled to the liver.
Oh, wow.
And then I go, oh, my God. So this is why the old wives' tale is that if your liver is shot or sick, it's because you have anger in you.
Right.
And I am diagnosed with fatty liver.
Oh, you've been diagnosed with fatty liver?
Yes. It runs in my family. It runs in my country a lot.
So will essential oils fix that?
It's not fixed yet. I'm working on it.
But it has the potential to help you.
It helps the potential to help me regenerate my liver.
Nice.
Of course, I'm doing cleansing, and my cleansing goes with the essential oils and essential oils infused product.
I don't even know what fatty liver is. I mean, does that mean your liver is fat?
Yes, it has fat, and my liver is non-alcoholic fat liver.
Which is better.
Which is like, hey, how the heck did I do it? I never drank.
Oh, okay. So, but it's still better than if you had an alcoholic fatty liver.
I think it's pretty much the same.
It's the same?
If I start drinking, it'll turn into cirrhosis.
Oh, right. Okay, great. So what that means is then if you have a non-alcoholic fatty liver, then it was not from the alcohol per se, but rather from emotional
diet, emotional stuff, and everything combined.
Got it.
Lots of sugar, lots of carbs. Stay away from that.
Yeah, a lot of people are starting to realize it's not just the diet. I mean, we have people who, I've heard so many stories of people who had amazing diets, amazing workout routines, and they still develop some kind of physical malady because their emotional states of being were not in alignment with what they're trying to do from a health nutritional standpoint.
Well, yeah, always being angry at somebody and not being able to vocalize it, and I constantly shut it down.
Oh yeah, right? I mean that's not that Dr. Emoto. Remember the?
Oh yeah, the water stuff.
Yeah, the water stuff.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me as an entrepreneur, I had to be able to start vocalizing what I need to communicate in order if I want to be a successful entrepreneur. If I want to have a team around me, I need to learn how to communicate my stuff without sounding I'm angry. Even though I think I'm not angry, but the way it comes across to some of my team members, it's like suddenly I'm like, oh, I feel like I need to walk on eggshells. Yeah, because I need to learn how to restructure what it's suppressed inside me because I don't want to offend people. Right. So I have an oil for that. I'll take my clarity to help me clarify. Okay,
it's kind of like the new thing for app is that they used to say, oh, I think there's an app for that. I think there's an oil for that.
But you know what's funny?
Yeah.
After going through so many MLMs, direct marketing, and failing. When the oils came into my lab, I said, I don't want to do absolutely anything with it. I just want to use it for myself and for my massage clients.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's been helping your massage.
I use it on massage clients, and especially when they come in with sore muscles and they walk out with me, I feel great.
Use it on me too, didn't you? The other day when I went in there.
I did some of it. Yes.
Nice.
So.
No wonder I felt so good afterwards.
Helping so many people with those oils. It just started selling itself. It's like, well, I don't want to do the business.
Right. Oh, it's so funny. It just kept going. It just basically fell in your lap.
Like somebody goes, hey, I want some oils. Yeah, I'll go there and get it, or talk to somebody else. I don't want to do business. And then it just like, why don't I want to do business? Yeah. You know, it's helping, and it's helping me. It's helped me tremendously with some supporting some of my health challenges. Right.
Oh, so you became just basically, I mean, and this is the most successful people doing direct marketing, direct sales, MLM, whatever they call it, usually didn't start off with the intention of building a business around it. They usually started off with just being a consumer, and they got amazing results and just made it easy. I mean, that's how Beachbody actually saved itself. They got the people who really did well with Beachbody and then turned them into representatives, and then it turned into this multi-level, because Beachbody didn't used to be multi-level.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, and then when they changed the model to become multi-level, that's when, because it almost went out of business.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is. So very cool. Okay, great. Believe it or not, it's almost the end of the show.
Wow, that went fast.
I know. So I want to make sure, because there's so much more that you have, and I would love to have you back on again just to kind of give us an update on where things are and everything like that. See, it's not so hard, not so bad.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
I want to also make sure that people know how to get a hold of you, whether to get these essential oils and stuff like that, or to I highly recommend her massage services, because it's not, she doesn't just do massage. She actually pays attention to how your body is responding to every touch, and she identifies things, and she's direct, and she goes, hey, this is not right, there's something wrong here, and I was like, okay, and brings your attention to it. So how do people get a hold of you? How do they get in contact with you? So if they have any questions about the oil, or maybe just engaging in your therapy services.
Well, I have my website. The website is fragranceofsuccess.com.
Fragranceofsuccess.com. I like it. It's perfect for entrepreneurs. Fragranceofsuccess.com. Okay.
I can give you my cell phone number, but I'm really good with text message.
No, I don't know if you want to put your cell phone out there.
Email?
Yeah, we could do email. So let's do it. Okay, it's www.fragranceofsuccess.com, right? Typing this in and putting into the comments for the on the Spreaker side of things, so you can always look for it there, and then
the email is easy, just my name, Violet Takacs at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Okay, great. So reach out, go to fragranceofsuccess.com, and that's your own website, right?
That's my essential oil website.
Okay, cool. And then you can also reach out to Violet directly at Violet at Takacs. Violet.takacs at gmail.com, and to reach out to her. You can also find her and Rodney, who will also be on the show in May.
That's right.
He's dealing with a little recovery right now from a couple surgeries of stuff. Nothing to do with the back. Okay. But you can find them at the Back in Action in Torrance, California. So you can always visit them in person over there. But other than that, definitely reach out to her. And if you are an entrepreneur looking to kind of augment your success through the use of good solid oils, and I highly recommend it, because it's all the rage right now. And I've been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs out there that, there's one right here. I'm gonna switch the camera right here so you can see. Basically, there's one called Motivation. Okay, Motivation, right? And what it is it's for motivation, I guess.
That's right.
What's the oils involved with this?
Sometimes you get stuck and you don't want to do anything. Like, I'm not built for this anymore. It's like, I just want to give up. You just inhale that, or you diffuse it, and you just. So
it goes to the brain faster if you inhale it.
Like 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Wow. Okay, let's see if I get motivated.
So it goes through your nose right to the limbic system, and then gets your memories and number. I'm not very scientific, but I know that's important to know.
God, I would love to kind of look into more of this. So I think maybe we'll have you back on again, just to go into the science behind this, just to explain why it works or how it works, so that way people can really understand this. Because for people like me who are engineers and kind of left brain driven, I'm always fascinated by. I can feel it. I can feel the results. How do I explain this to people before they feel, so that they can really truly kind of say, yes, this is good stuff. So. But anyway, okay, cool. Well, any last things that you want to impart, especially to immigrant moms? I think there's a big passion piece for you, that you wanted to do things for women who have immigrated over, single parents especially, right? What are some of the things that you would like to share? If there was a few things or one thing to them as entrepreneurs to help them up-level their life and their business.
One of the most important thing, I believe, is believe in yourself.
And what do you mean by that? Believe in yourself.
Believe you got it. You got what it takes to be that perfect mom. Believing that you can do anything you need to do or you want to do. Believe that sometimes you have that. I don't think I can do this, and deep down you kind of know, but you don't know. Just go with that gut feeling that you do know.
Right.
And that's very important, because if you constantly are in like limbo about yourself, then you get limbo results.
I would also say, based on what you told me today, that be willing to invest in yourself too,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
I mean, especially so many single parents, or they forget to take care of themselves. They forget to invest in themselves, and it paid off. I mean, look at how your daughter has been responding to you today.
Yes.
You know, so
yeah, basically what I was told back then, because I didn't know,
mhm.
take care of yourself. If something happens to you, what happens to your daughter?
The
And that always
yeah,
stuck with me. And I go, oh my gosh, they are right. I need to
oxygen
slow
mask.
down working so hard. I need to become more smart.
Yeah. Okay. So cool. I have to listen to this again because I think there's so many lessons to be learned from your journey alone in coming from Transylvania and then coming through Copenhagen and then coming to the US and then just figuring it out without even, becoming an entrepreneur without identifying as being an entrepreneur. And it's just such a fascinating thing. And this is what I love what I do, because I get to learn so much about so many different ways how people become successful as entrepreneurs. And I wish you the best of luck in this moving forward, because I have a feeling that this is kind of like, the groove that is going to take you to that next level.
Thank you.
Super cool. All right. So that's our show for the week, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you found this episode to be valuable and know of someone else that could benefit from what we talked about today, share it. Review us on iTunes, Spreaker, or like the episode on Google Live. And did you know we even have a Facebook group called The Money Lab? So join us there to dive even deeper and into bad money story elimination strategies. So that being said, we are about to wrap things up. Okay, that's a wrap. So take this week to apply the knowledge from today. Have an amazing week, and we'll catch you next week on the Money Lab Live podcast, where we will have Lori Chin Sayers from Colorado talking about video film and her passion and her transition as an entrepreneur. This is Wei from the Six Figure Academy, signing out. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, over in YouTube land, thanks for hanging out and seeing us.
you.
Okay. Wave goodbye. Wave goodbye.
I forgot we're still on.
I know. We're still on the video side. Okay, great. We'll see you guys next week. Okay. Lori Chin Sayers is coming on, so you don't want to miss that one. That one's a cool one. She's a triathlete, marathon runner. I think she's a marathon runner. But anyway, okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.